Hi, this is Karen and welcome to another Festive Friday at dolallycrafts. This is the project we're making today. It's a really decent sized box. It actually measures 4 inches square that way and 5 inches tall. And it'd make an ideal box for you to give out unboxed gifts or multitude of gifts, like a lot of little gifts to a friend, or even fill it with lollies and chocolates and everything and just give it as a thank you. I've actually made a thank you gift tag to go with it, as you can see, just using up some of the leftover papers, and I'm really pleased with it. I don't know whether you can see it because of that strobing from outside, but it's got gorgeous little beading on the top in the centre of the poinsettia. I know I have problems pronouncing that word. Poinsettia? I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the box that we're making today. And the little card I've already put together off to the side here. But let's get on with the box and I'll show you how to put it together. I'm changing up the colours though. So I'll just set these aside, and I've just thrown the card on the floor. Okay, feels a bit bumpy. So all the measurements can be found on my blog. I've already done one side, part of the box, and I've got another piece of cardstock here to do the rest of it. So I'm going to come in with my scoreboard, if I can find it. It was here before. There it is. I've put it up out the way. Okay, so in with our paper trimmer. Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say then. And on the this card measures 8 1/4 inches, so it's a full width of an A4 sheet of card. Or if you're in the States, you can use an 8 1/2 inch, and that way it just gives you an extra 1/2 inch to affix it when you're putting it together. But the measurement lengthwise is 9 inches, so over in the States you can make this box as well, so it's not a weird size. You can make it with the A4 or with the American sizing, which I can't remember what you guys call it. Is it letter size? Anyway, first we're going to score it at the 4 inch mark, and then I'm going to open up my paper trimmer and move it to the 8 inch, and I'm going to score it again at the 8 inch mark. So if you're using the A4 size paper, you're only going to have 1/4 inch of paper to glue the two panels together. Okay, now I've moved on the 9 inch side with the 1/4 inch at the top. I've actually moved the paper to the 5 inch measurement, and I'm going to score it again. Okay, pop the paper trimmer away now, because from memory I'm not going to need it again. Now you're not going to be able to see the scoring properly on here because of all the different lights, but there's a score mark there, which is the 5 inch on this side, 4 inches on this side. There's a 4 inch score there and an 8 inch score there. So what we're going to do is take away this small 1/4 inch panel from the 4 inch square and trim that on an angle, and then go straight up the 4 inch score to the first score across. Trim that area there just a little bit off so that it's not going to stick out on the other side of the box. Now I'm using the tear and tape. You can use whatever you like to put these two pieces together, but I'm putting the score tape as close to the score line. Sorry, I'm putting the tear and tape as close to that score line as possible, so that when it's folded it'll have a really neat corner. And I'm going to give it a really good burnishing with my bone folder and pop that out the way and bring the other piece back in and do the same again. Straight down the side, but as close to the score mark as possible so that we get a neat corner corner adhesion. There we go. In with the snips again and just snip that off and then give it a good score. Now that I've got the tape on there, sorry, it's quite warm in here, and with the lights on, I wish I had my fan going. And I mean, it's only supposed to be 13 degrees out there, 13 Celsius, not Fahrenheit, thank goodness. Okay, so I'm just folding and burnishing all the score marks. So I'm just going to fold that over that way and then give that a nice burnish and do the same on this one. So these two pieces of cardstock are identical in size and in scoring. I did all the scoring and everything off camera, just in the interest of saving a bit of time. Okay, so we've got our two pieces there. I'm going to peel off the backing paper on there, and any that's hanging over, I'm just going to fold back on itself. And the same on that side. Okay, and then the same on this one. Peel off the backing. And any hangover or overhang, we've got no hangovers here, any overhang, popping it back on itself. Okay, now I'll fold this piece out, and what I'm going to do, fold that piece out as well so it doesn't stick to my mat, and I'm going to line these two edges up right at the top there and bring this straight down that fold and burnish. So that's those two pieces together. Now I'm going to bring this piece in, and I've got the, as you can see, that piece which is going to be adhered is sticking out. So there we go. And when we open that up, there's the top of our box. Okay, now for the bottom, to make it a bit stronger, I'm going to actually use liquid glue to adhere these pieces together. Now really, there's no front and back of this box because it's in two pieces, so it doesn't really matter which side I start with. So make sure it's square and just do that over like so, and then another one. Now you could put a candle in this box because this bottom part is going to be so solid with the glue and the 4 layers. It is going to be quite a tough box on the bottom, so you know nothing is going to fall out. Now I'm just going to tip it the right way up again and stick my hand in and give it a good press down. Make sure all of that's square again. Got a bit of paper, cardstock that's sticking up there, but there we go. That is the bottom, and I've just realised the part that I forgot to do was put the decoration on the side. So I'll move the box to the side for now, and as I said, if I haven't said it before, you know all of these sizings will be found on my blog. Now what I'm using today is the Poinsettia dies and the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. And I can't remember the name of it, so I'll bring the paper pack in. I'm using the Poinsettia Place DSP, which has got some beautiful papers in there. But this is the one I'm choosing today because it's got the real red, and I really wanted to have that pop of real red. Now, as you can see, I've got my dies out, and if you're wondering why they have that little black mark, it's so that, if I can bring my dies back in, so that when I'm doing the actual embossing of the petals, so that I don't have to keep twisting these pieces around and round, and these are very delicate too, so that I'm not constantly having to twist them thinking, okay, how do I get it done? If I do it that way, as you can see, all I need to do is line up the 2 black dots that are there, and I know that I've got that piece in place. And I did that with all of the embossing pieces and the dies, so that it's easier to match them up. So I'll pop those away again, back in their sleeve. Pop that over there. Now I'm even using the tiny little leaves which cut and emboss at the same time. Now what I'm using is, these are all going to be, the DSP is all going to be matted on these red pieces of the real red cardstock. But before I do that, I want to cut out, waste not, want not, I'm going to cut out the poinsettias first. So I'm just going to move these aside for a moment and bring in my Stampin' Emboss machine. And I've just got plates 1, 2 and 3 there. Bring this piece in, and there is a way so that you're still getting a decent amount of border on either side. So we'll pop that through. I'll fast forward the rest of this. Okay, welcome back. Now, in the interests of time saving, I've already cut out the leaves. Now, what I'm going to do, I have shading here for the leaves, and I have my Old Olive stamp pad. I'm hoping my head's not going to get in the way as I cover the leaves with a bit of shading. So I'm going to bring in these two, and I've got to figure out which way is which. Let's see. Now there's one leaf or one petal that curls over, and I've just realised that one and that one both curl. So I'm going to come in with Cherry Cobbler. I want it a little bit darker than the real red to give it a bit more shading. Now I've got to line these up, so hopefully my head won't get in the way. That looks great, and I will do it again on this one. Now, how about these two little ones? Do we have two little tiny stamps? No, we don't. No. Okay, but I might use that. It's actually for that size of the poinsettia, I think. Let's see. It's for the smallest of the poinsettias. But what I'm going to do is come in with another stamp. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't actually fit the stamp block properly. What I'm going to do is line those shades up like so, and just give it a little bit of shading. That actually looks really good, and it will look good behind the little beads that will go on. I've now got cherry cobbler all over me. Okay, pop that away because otherwise I will lose it on my desk. So I have all of these done, as well as the shading on the leaves. I'm going to come in with my bone folder and just give each of the leaves a bit of a curl, like so. And what I might do is just push the crease down the centre to give it a bit more dimension. Okay, now in with the poinsettias again, and I'm going to give each of these a good curling. I'm holding tightly to the base of each of the petals so that I don't rip the petals off the main part of the flower. Okay, so we've got all the inking and all the prep done. I'm going to bring in my pieces of DSP and we're going to pop these onto our mats. So in with my Stampin' seal. No, I'm going to use, I found one more roll of snail, so I'm going to use the snail off. Now, because they've got the holes in them, but I want them to be really strong on the sides, I'm going to bring in the mono multi and just smear that all over, because it'll give me a bit of wiggle room considering the box is already put together. Just hold that in place for a moment, flip it to the side and bring the next piece in. Really cute. Now I'm going to bring in, I haven't even trimmed this piece to size, so I am going to have to bring in my paper trimmer, and this measures 8 1/16 of an inch square. The 1/16 of an inch is so that it fits neatly over the top of our box without bowing the sides. So swivel it round, take it to 1/16 again and trim that thin slither off there. And I've got red all over my fingers. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, back again. This will be the inside of the box. So I've just realised why. One of my stamps was sitting here with red on it and one was sitting here with the green. So we've got red and green on this side, but that's fine. We're going to use that as the inside of the box. Now what you need to do, because it's 8 1/16, you need to score at 2 inches on each side. So even if you've got the simply scored, you still have to turn it and score it at those 2 inches on every side, so that you've got that 1/16 of an inch in the middle there to cover over the top of the box. Okay, sorry, my camera cut out then. So the simply scored's out the way, and I'm just going to go over the edges to make sure that they're all nice and flat and pointing down and not rough edged up. Okay, so now we go around and burnish all of those score lines really nicely so that we've got a nice sharp edge. Okay, in with our paper snips, And what I'm going to do is cut down each of the score marks, and I'm cutting into the rectangle to get rid of that bump that we get from the score mark. And I'm going to trim that piece off, and I'm going to trim that piece off so that we don't get an overhang. Now I'm just turning this clockwise, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing on this corner. So cutting up into the rectangle and then taking the square and wedging it both sides. Cardstock in. So that's what it looks like, a bit of a windmill there. Now I'm going to bring that extra piece that I matted, the one that the two little pieces were cut out of, and I'm going to put this together before I actually put the lid together. Makes it a lot easier if I do it that way. So in the centre there, and making sure that each of those borders is even. Give it a good press down, and then I'm going to come in with my tear and tape and put a nice strong piece of tear and tape right up next to that score mark, and then trim it off. Do that on all of those windmill pieces. And then I'm going to come in with the Stampin' Seal and just put a bit of Stampin' Seal at the end there to hold it in place once the lid has been put together. You could use glue here, so like the liquid glue, so that you've got a bit of wiggle room, but it's not necessary. Okay, off with the Stampin' Seal, the backing paper, and give that a good press there. Okay, in with the bone folder and just give each of those corners a press, like so. And there's our box lid. Bring in the box, and as you will see, that goes over really nicely, and it's a good fit. And you can put something quite heavy in that. I actually have, it's a bit small for the box size, but it will show you that the bottom will not fall out of this box. Okay, why is that not going down? There we go. No sign of the bottom falling out. So, and that is a really heavy candle. So yeah, that is really strong. Get that out again. The candle, by the way, is from my girlfriend Wickedy Wax Candles on Facebook. Hayley does a fantastic job with candles, and that one smells absolutely beautiful. It's black cherry. Okay, so we have our box. I'm going to bring in my real red ribbon, and this is part of the Poinsettia Place, I think it's called, suite. Beautiful organza ribbon, I think it is. No, it's just called sheer ribbon. Beautiful though. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that I've got the right amount, and then with my glue dots I'm going to put a glue dot there. Oops, doesn't want to stick. No, okay, we'll put the glue dot in the middle here, and then come in with the ribbon, and that is approximately halfway. And then I'm going to bring that round and I'm going to put another just there. This is the fun bit, getting it to sit properly. So oh, tying bows is fun. There we go. When you want to tighten it up a bit, hold the center and pull your two tails, and that way the knot itself won't loosen. There we go. Just turn that because it's sitting in the wrong position. And then another glue dot. Gee, I'm not using a lot of glue dots on this one. In the center again. And I might actually pop two on there, to be sure. And then pop that over the glue dots, like so. Yes, I like that. So that will go on the front of the box. So make sure that's sitting right. Now, in with dimensionals. And what I'm going to do is pop a dimensional on the petals that are pointing down, and that will go in the center of the box. The next one, these are the petals that are pointing upwards, and that will go like so, and it gives it a bit of lift there. In with the next piece, and I'm going to cut one of the edge pieces which isn't as large as the center pieces, and that can go, actually I've got a little bit overhanging there, so I'm going to trim that piece off, and then once again turn the petals so that they're alternating. In with another piece and another small, I don't know where my mini dimensionals have gone, but this would be an ideal project for mini dimensionals, preferably the black ones, to be honest, because they'd be more likely to blend in with the darkness of the red. Once again, offsetting the petals. Now with these last two pieces, the downward facing petals, now I had a small piece here a minute ago, I don't know what I've done with it now. No, it's disappeared. Okay, in with another tiny piece. Ah, there it is. On my scissors. Okay, little piece there, and have the petal, these petals are facing down, so offsetting that, and then this last one, the petals are facing upwards, so I need just a little bit of dimensional, like so. And then offset this once more, and then in with our jewels, the beaded pearls. These are stunning. I've actually used something similar to this when I've made wedding stationery. Okay, in with the glue dots again. I love this box. It's been flying around in my head for a couple of weeks, but I was waiting to order the Poinsettia Place stamp set and dies, because this is what I had in my head. And I had to wait until my birthday, so I had some extra spending money. Okay, and that will just go in the centre there. Now, I did have a couple of little dies that I cut from the die set, which are these. Now, I wasn't sure whether they were supposed to be red or whether they were supposed to be white, like mistletoe, but I coloured them red because one of the papers in this has them as little red beads. So I'm just going to pop those under there like that. So I've got to glue them in. So once again, trusty glue dots. So I'm just going to pop a glue dot on the back there, and then another one at the end of the stalk, because this will be hidden underneath the main flower. Oh, and that's come off. Okay, and the other glue dot's stuck to my thumb. Okay, so we've got that. Just going to lift that up and pop that under there, give it a bit of a press down, and then do the same on the other side. And then pop that just under there. So there we go. I really, really like that. I really do. Really, really, really do. I'm looking for the card that I made. It's around here somewhere. I will be back in a moment. Okay, back with the card. I forgot I'd actually popped Winker Stella on the leaves on this, and then just for a bit of texture I actually put some of the fine tip glue pen over the little yellow beads in the middle there. So it's given it a bit of texture. But yeah, this is just a little card to go with it, saying thank you for making this a wonderful season. And yeah, you could just affix that, maybe have it hanging off the bow, or just put it in a little card, a little envelope at the side. I don't know. I just thought use the scraps up. So I hope you really like this. I'll just clear this edge off, and I've just realised I didn't use the leaves after all that, but never mind. I can always use them on a different project. So I'll pop that to the side. So there's the first box, or there's our box that I've made in front of you. And here is the other box that I made. I don't know where the card's gone for that one. But yeah, I hope you really like today's project and you'll give it a go. All the dimensions and everything can be found on my blog. So take a trip over there to get the dimensions. And yeah, if you do make this, please share it on your social media. And if you do, please tag me in it so I can come and have a look. Okay, that's enough from me for today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.